A lot of anchor hair going
Yes,
on.
I'll share with everyone. Well, from searching for kids who go missing to adventurers who get lost in the backcountry.
Idaho Mountain Search and Rescue is often called in to help in those times of need.
And I got the chance to spend some time with the team to learn about who they are, what they do, and how they get ready for it. They're called during some of the scariest moments in a person's life. When a loved one is missing or trapped, the Idaho Mountain Search and Rescue Unit is there.
From the moment we get the call to the moment we're leaving the door is 1 hour.
And they're all volunteers. Mark Sullivan is the PR director for the Idaho Mountain Search and Rescue Unit, also known as IMSARU. He says there are 120 volunteers on the roster. They serve the Treasure Valley, as well as surrounding states in search, rescue, and mountain safety education when asked. Founded in 1959, the Idaho Mountain Search and Rescue Unit participates on average in 40 rescue operations a year.
And this is our main vehicle that we roll out with. It's got stretchers and all the gear that we'll need. We actually recently fitted it with Starlink satellite internet.
KTVB got a tour of the Boise compound where they train.
This is all our mission gear. We've got snow gear, snowshoes, snow poles, avalanche beacons, and probes. We have an inflatable raft.
There's also a rock climbing wall.
So we practice our knots, and we practice pulling the skeds and stretchers up and down the walls.
And volunteers train with Rescue Randy, a 170-pound training mannequin.
Yeah, he's pretty heavy. Sometimes we'll actually train with live subjects. We'll invite community members out, or we'll use IMSRU members to do some training. Other times, we pull out our Rescue Randy and we practice moving him around.
They train, so they're ready for when that call for help comes.
I've hiked all over Nevada, Oregon, and Idaho searching for people, but sometimes depending on the need, we do radio work, liaison with family members who are concerned, obviously, for a missing person.
Adrian and William Gillen are search technicians. They joined the nonprofit in October of 2020.
It's a wonderful sense of being useful, hopefully giving someone a chance.
Adrian volunteers on about 5 missions a year, while William goes out on 6 to 8 operations.
We do discriminate. We're some of the older members. For me, I am always thinking of the individual, the family.
They understand. With each call comes a sense of urgency.
They've got family members. They have loved ones. How is it all fitting in? We've got a team. We want to make sure our team's safe, and we all come back.
The truth of the matter is we don't always find what we're looking for.
In July of 2021, Idaho Mountain Search and Rescue crews were in Fruitland, searching for then 5-year-old Michael Vaughn. They also helped search for 21-year-old Everett Jackson from Louisiana, who disappeared in the Payette River last summer before his body was found a week later.
Not every search is guaranteed to be a recovery. The quicker we can get out there, the quicker that we can potentially find success.
We all love the happy fairy tale ending, but of course that's simply not the reality every time we go out. You know, there's times when we do find a subject and they're deceased. That happens actually fairly often sometimes. And then there's times that we do a search and we simply, we exhaust all our info and our resources and we're not successful. We have searches in IMSRU where we still haven't found people.
The training director, Chris Brookman, has volunteered with IMSRU for 10 years. He's also one of the search and rescue managers who help plan and organize searches. He says missions like those can sometimes take a toll on the volunteers involved.
Anytime that our members go through something that might trigger those emotions, maybe they have to help with, moving a deceased subject or they see something traumatic, we actually have a team of people that will reach out to them and follow up.
It's a stressful time for the families of people needing to be rescued, and Chris understands that.
And we certainly empathize with that. We're still going to come. We're still going to do our best search efforts for you. And we understand that some of those emotions people go through are just part of the grieving process.
Chris met us in the Foot Park area near Lucky Peak Dam, one of the places where he conducted one of his first missions as the lead of operations.
If someone is stranded out here or lost, You know, the clock is ticking immediately. Like, we're already behind the schedule here, if you will.
He says over the last few years, the search end of things have changed dramatically because they now have tools and resources available that they didn't have before.
So one of the first things we want to do is try and figure out what direction the subject traveled.
There are several methods they use to do that.
The first one is actually called reflex tasking, and that's basically a checklist of all the initial actions that I want to take to start performing this search.
He then looks at a book of statistical data, which is a compilation of more than 50,000 individual search and rescue incidents, categorized by incident type. For example, information about the hiker involved or the terrain.
And what that does is it lets me kind of analyze within this map here where that hiker is more or less likely to be. So in this case, I can tell you that, you know, a 1.3 mile radius, there's a 50% chance my missing hiker is going to be in there, just based on a whole bunch of statistical data. There's a 25% chance they're going to be in this less than a mile radius.
Just last month, search crews rescued a man after he lost both his skis in a small avalanche on the backside of Bogus Basin.
Oh, this is almost kind of a big game of hide and seek, but with really high stakes.
And when those missions are done, the training continues.
We're here because we want to be, but we also hope that you don't actually need us.
And as I mentioned, the Idaho Mountain Search and Rescue Unit is a volunteer group, and they say they don't get any government funding, so they rely on fundraising.
They also have public meetings once a week. During those meetings, they train on medical issues and search tactics and techniques. Then once a month, they hold field training. IMSRU recommends always being prepared if you're planning on recreating in the backcountry, which includes making sure you have the proper equipment, including a probe and beacon, especially when it's snowy.
Yeah, and by the way, there are other search and rescue units. Elmore County has their own, as well as Valley County and Elko County, and sometimes they help them in searches. Anyone can volunteer, and we have more information on how you can do so if you'd like to at ktvb.com.